such drama.
I called the legislative meeting of the Township of Aleppo to order on October 19, 2020 at 7 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
President Jones.
Present.
Vice President Williams. Commissioner Dara.
Present.
Commissioner Richard. Present. Commissioner Haluka.
Present.
Solicitor Stone.
Here.
And Manager Patterson.
Here.
This meeting, as with all others, is recorded and uploaded to YouTube where it can be seen by anybody, anytime, anywhere. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the workshop meeting? So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. When are we switching the agenda?
I wrote it in the order it should, that it switched on your paper. So, yes. Here's
Mr.
something.
Fuller?
Sir.
Oh, come up to the podium, please. Then. Eric Fulmer has submitted a letter of interest to fill the vacancy on the zoning hearing board, and we asked him to come tonight to state his name, his address, his previous involvement with Aleppo, and why you want to do this. Very briefly.
Eric Fulmer, 309 Sewickley Ridge Drive, and I've been a resident of the township since 1988, and I served as a member of the Planning Commission back in the late 1980s for 2.5 or 3 years, 88 to 90 in that time frame. And I come from a city planning background. That's my academic background and my background from employment. And generally speaking, looking for a way just to contribute back to the community in which I live. And I try to do that on a number of fronts, and it's been many years since I've had the opportunity to do it at the local government level. So when George mentioned it to me, I tried very hard to make this happen. So.
Does anybody have any questions for Eric?
No, I reviewed, the information given to us. Thank you for your submission.
Welcome.
The skill set is perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tax collector treasurer.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see you all again. In your packet, you should have received the September 2020 report for the month. Do you want me to read all the numbers for the record, or do you want to just, you're good to go? The only thing I will say, total monies on hand right now for the month of September was a little over $2 million. Subtract everything out, net operating funds, you end up having about 1.2 million. Roughly. You can see for the graphs on page 3 and 4, comparing September of 2020 to September of 2019. Again, we're still relatively on target for where we are. The next thing down is the 2020 year-to-date to the budget. So as you can see, we're about, what, $56,000 off. We still have 3 months to go as tax collection goes. So I think we're, all things considered, with what the way this year has played out, I think we're doing well. And so, does anybody have any questions?
Have you seen any negative impact on revenues or expenses?
Not at the moment.
And I think it's pretty clear if we're collecting 23,000 a month in EIT with 3 months left.
Yep.
That's greater than 56. So we look to be in pretty good condition.
Correct.
And again, as Commissioner Dara pointed out last legislative meeting, I think, the shortfall this year in revenues as compared to last year, again, is impacted primarily by the $185,000 real estate transfer tax.
Correct. Yeah, that was almost, I think it was a little over 200,000.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the difference if you're comparing 2019 where we are to 2020.
Any questions or comments for Eric? Or Clay?
All right, well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Clay.
Have a good evening.
Hey, Clay. See ya.
Sure.
Have a good one.
Police report.
Cruising through. All right, good evening, everyone. Very quiet month of September with a total of 43 calls, 26 of those were EMS assist, one ordinance violation of fireworks, and 8 traffic citations. You know, as always, I come up here and I say, lock your cars, take your valuables out. It's on the news almost every other day of a community getting hit, so just put it out there for you. Any concerns, issues for me tonight?
I had one question that Tim and I talked about this morning. The speed sign, the speed monitor that we put up, it records the speed of all the cars?
Yes, it does.
Are you discussing that then with Chief?
I'd give Gwen all the information. I haven't downloaded, the one we took down today, I haven't downloaded the information from it yet. I'll do that tomorrow and get Gwen all the info from it.
Why does that alert below the speed limit? I've had 2 or 3 people ask me about that. The one that's on Swickley Heights Drive is telling people to slow down at like 21 mile an hour and the speed limit's
I
25.
set it at 20.
Okay, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, you
it's
can
telling
set
them
it
to slow
for
down
anything.
before
It's a
before
great
they
tool.
get anywhere near the speed limit, and they were like, "Wait, isn't the speed limit 25 here?" I was
Well,
like, "Yeah,"
there is no actual posted speed limit in the manor.
which makes it 25, right?
So I set it at 20.
Okay,
We
that's
did,
why.
just for, you know, information sharing, Gwen did share that, the last set of data, I think at our Amazon meeting, we put out, because we talked about volume and speeding and everything at that point, because it was placed on,
Dear.
thank
Deer
you, Deer, mind freeze, Deer Run, so it was, you know, really valuable information for that meeting.
Absolutely. It's a great tool,
It is.
great investment. Just saying. You know.
Any other questions or comments?
All right.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Chief.
Have a great night.
See ya.
Fire?
Thanks.
No report.
Emergency management?
Treading water, starting the hazardous vulnerability assessment for this year. Counties do this year for their all hazards that goes to FEMA. And so we're required to participate in that unless we want to do it for ourselves. So I started working on hazard vulnerability. So that's where we are.
Thank you. Public Works?
Kind of slow, not a lot going on. We're starting to blow leaves, so. Matter of fact, we did Rhodes Avenue one day last week and you can't even tell we did it now, so. Other than that, everything's just going good. Any questions?
Any indication when Redgate will open? I haven't.
I went today to find them. They are done, but they haven't opened the road.
Yeah,
And I think what they're doing is they're waiting to contact the gas company to see when they're gonna start that, because they have to mill one whole side of the road. So I think they might be waiting for them to do their milling and paving, and then they're gonna open it again. But I'm not positive of that, because it could, the guy from the gas company told us it could be a week and it could be a month before they do the tie-in at the end of your road.
okay, yeah, they just like all disappeared, there was no one to even ask anymore.
Right, yeah, they were all gone today. Oh, I did have one other question that you and I discussed, and if any of you have an idea, where should we put the speed sign next?
Yeah. Where has it been?
Deer Run, Weber, Glen Mitchell, right at McCoy, and Swickley Heights Drive, right across from Judy's.
Merriman.
Well, Merriman, you mean up this way? On this side of it?
This way isn't ours, is it? No, never
Once you
mind.
get past the sign here, it's not ours.
Oh, so the roller coaster's not ours.
Yep. So if anybody has any ideas,
How about Upper Swickley Heights Drive? Is that the same problem? It's not ours or it is ours?
Ooh, that's a gray zone. It's in Swickley Heights, but we paved it.
Yeah, it's our road, we're responsible for the road, but it's actually in Swickley Heights.
I'm sure the Swickley Heights wouldn't object.
Well, they have their own speed sign that they put out. It was on, matter of fact, it was on Merriman not too long ago.
How
out
long
this way.
do you leave it in one?
We were leaving it 1 week, but what I've done, School Street was the other place we put it. I did School Street and Swickley Heights Drive, I did 2 weeks on there, just to see. And according to the homeowners on School Street, they say that it helped, that people saw that thing and just slowed down.
Have we had it on McCoy at the Bends?
No, we have not had it on McCoy yet.
I think that would be a good place.
Okay.
And around Thanksgiving, just because of increase maybe in Amazon productivity, I'd put it back on the hill. to
Back on Deer
alert
Run?
the drivers, yeah, just because they might have some increased traffic on Deer Run there with the vans.
Further up maybe, or further down?
I liked where it was last time.
Where
I
it
thought
was?
Yeah.
Okay, right near the,
Yeah, 'cause it was
right
catching
near
me
the
pretty
church.
far up, even, when I noticed when I would go down, so, yeah, I just think with the increased traffic, it might be a good time with Black Friday.
Oh, yeah,
It'd
but
be booming.
they're gonna be, going crazy over here.
Why
No, I'll
don't
ask Swickley Heights if they mind if we put it on Upper Swickley Heights Drive.
Yeah, and-
Yeah, I'll check with them.
Has there been any thought as to the use of the data?
Not yet. I mean, I can tell you that the data we see the trip count is very valuable, but the speeding data, we've not seen excessive speeding anywhere.
Well, Deer Run.
Zero. But it also is serving the purpose of being a deterrent. So people see it and they slow down. So it's
Yes,
gonna
they do.
slow down, you just cycle through.
I just wonder if once we have the data, let's say that we see what we expect we're gonna see coming down Swickley Heights Drive, 35, 40 miles an hour, to somehow let people know, you're putting people in danger.
Yeah,
I
definitely when we get
think
the
in
report.
in the past, when the chief put Swickley Heights Drive, though, it was really interesting. If you remember, he put it up near the trees where people couldn't even really see it, to record, because everybody was saying, oh my goodness, people are coming down there like an airport, they're going really fast, really fast. And it was the exact opposite of what we expected. In reality, 26, 27 looks and feels like 35, 40 on
Okay.
Swickley Heights Drive.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that you're gonna find out that there's people flying on Swickley Heights Drive as much as there's, but that's good information as well.
Yep.
As much as there's a perceived.
I'll
people
pull the
flying.
info out of it tomorrow and get Gwen a copy of everything, so
I
that she
just
can
wondered if
see.
posting some of the data on the webpage,
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Sure,
Could do that, yeah.
you know,
we can
Please be
do
aware.
a chart, traffic summaries and stuff on the website, yep.
anything else, Tim?
That's it.
Anything for Tim? Communications, thanks.
Thank you.
Nice job, Tim.
Okay, I have a list here. This is mine, one.
I put it in front of you, I can do it, since I got the emails, or you can do it.
No, because some of it will tie into some other things. So we did receive an email from a resident about the noise ordinance with the trucks going up and down the hill there. So, but again, I'm not sure with that issue. Actually, maybe we should ask the chief. There's, what our role is or what we can really do to quiet trucks going up and down the hill.
Yeah, I don't know the answer yet. I
Yeah.
mean, there's certain safety factors to it, so I would want to get some more information about what and where those kinds of restrictions are appropriate. Because Deer Run Road is a steep hill, and I did get some input from some emergency responders who said they, any extra braking that's allowed on a truck, they encourage, because they don't want a truck to break loose and go down to the bottom of the hill.
Right.
So I would want to find out some actual information about how these brake systems work and.
Are you talking about the brake retarders?
Brake
Yeah.
retarders, yeah.
Yeah. So we continue to investigate that. Then also concerns about Amazon trucks pulling across the street here right when they pull out at the, I'm having a hard time with vocabulary tonight. I
Intersection of Deer
apologize.
Run.
Yeah, the intersection here, Deer
Deer
Run,
Run.
Merriman, where cars are pulling over. The resident asked for no stopping or standing signs to be placed there. But also, we try to address it with Amazon first, as to say, why do the vans need to pull over? Please pull over further down the road, or use different parking areas to pull over. I haven't seen it much since. Once the resident emailed us, I then saw it about 2 times, and I have not yet seen it again. They seem to be pulling down further towards the intersection there at 79 to do whatever readjustment or let their GPS calibrate at that point. So I don't know if there's a warrant for signs yet or not there in that area, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it also. We also had a concern about weight limits on the township roads. Gwen's already initiated with HRG into looking at the cost of a study for that issue. And then we had an email today about lights on at Amazon. He did send us pics for it that they were shining across the way into a resident's house. And it is a temporary light. I don't know what those are called, but they're brought in. They're, you know, it's not one of the fixed lights that are already in the parking lot. So a temporary light, and it was pointed directly at. So I'm sure in our conversation with Amazon, and a quick email to them, they could probably just adjust, you know, the lighting. I don't see that being an issue that we can't figure out with the lighting. And then also, he was also concerned about a fence falling over between his house and tow lift, but did he meet, or did he email the park?
He didn't, I think that would probably be me to do that, if
They
you
want an
want me to
email.
just go ahead and
Okay.
forward that to the industrial park and say,
Yes,
this is what was
please.
referred to in the August meeting, okay.
Correct. Yeah, we'll just email the industrial park about just concern over this fence. And I think that was it. We did have an Amazon meeting. We will have one next week. We discussed with them just some, checking in on some projects we were working on for some signage. They are opening another plant across the river, which hopes to alleviate this plant slightly. And then they had also switched carriers, and they do have more local carriers where the owners of the companies are on site here every day. 3 months ago, the owners of those carrier services, they never met. And now, 6 of the 11 they see every day, if I remember my numbers correctly from our meeting. So they have 11 carriers, 6 they see every day now. So they're able to convey our messages, our concerns to the actual owners of the courier companies that are employing the drivers.
You probably would want to maintain their contract.
Correct. So, and the other ones were switched out, the other 6 were switched out for reasons of poor performance and bad scoring and not, you know, so. I do think that's a promising sign. We were very excited about that, that there is actually now an opportunity to, you know, that they get to know these drivers and these drivers have an investment, so, or the owners of the companies, I should say. But I think that was about, and there is movement on the parking lots back there that they are making progress for that, so that should help too.
Nice.
So Gwen and Solicitor Stone, do we intentionally keep names anonymous?
We don't have a policy of one way or the other.
In what context?
If somebody emails us with a concern, is it appropriate to keep the names anonymous, or is it required? At any rate, we'll think about that later, but for those who submitted the concerns, please understand they were just addressed, and if you have additional comments, let Gwen know. Okay, thank you very much, Amy.
Sure.
Planning and zoning.
Just want to announce that the upcoming November Planning Commission meeting, we do have one application so far for that meeting, and we have to move the date. So I wanted to get that out. The date for the Planning Commission is the day after the election, and our building will be closed, both the garage and the township building will be closed the day after the election for Bactronics disinfection. And so we are moving the date of the Planning Commission tentatively, but really close to getting firm for Thursday, November 5th. So one day forward, we're moving the Planning Commission. So instead of the normal first Wednesday, it'll be the first Thursday of the month.
I think this would be an appropriate time to hear a motion to appoint Eric to the zoning hearing board.
Second.
There a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Eric. He's highly skilled.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a question I could ask that.
Yeah, I think that was
After looking
kind
at his resume.
Finance, do I hear a motion to approve the September bill list?
Move that we approve the September bill list in the amount of $45,442.40. To ratify the September prepaid bills in the amount of $15,609.02. And to ratify September payroll transfers in the amount of $22,955.37.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Aleppo Township Authority.
The work with regard to the Culligan water line, sewer line, has been scheduled for next spring.
Good.
Didn't want to try to do the interior coating of those pipes in the cold weather. So we're starting to solicit bids for it, but it's not going to get done until next spring. That's it.
Quaker Valley Ambulance Authority.
I actually do have something, the report, we can just pass around, it's kind of routine stuff. The audit is in without infraction. They've switched some software programs, you can kind of read that. Billable trips for Quaker Valley was 119, lift assists were 2. Refusals on scene were 15, canceled en route were 2, no patient found 13, for a total of 162 ambulance trips in Quaker Valley. One thing that I did want to spend a minute, Gwen and I had a conversation after the last meeting. We had gotten a letter from JR that they were changing the way that they collect on the Quaker Valley side. We are not subscription based. The Valley Ambulance side is subscription based. We are tax based. And they looked at it as over the past 5, 6, 7 years, the co-pays for patients have steadily increased. Well, with our tax base of $9, which hasn't changed per person, the increased deficit, or what they're writing off every year, has increased because co-pays have went from $20 a call to $200 a call. So last year they wrote off $105,000 because of the $9. So they were looking at that, and in a way they're hoping to raise $40,000 to meet that budget deficit. And they were looking at 2 ways of doing it. One, it would require increasing the per person or per capita fee from $9 to $12, which would put a hit on all of the municipalities' budgets in the middle of COVID, which wasn't thought to be a very desirable way. And the other way to do it is how they did it on the other side of the river in excess of 10 years ago, I think it was 11 years ago, where they went to a 50% reduction by subscription. So on the other side of the river, you pay $60 a year. You have an ambulance call that costs $1,000. Your insurance pays $800. Your subscription covers 50% of that, or $100, and you cover $100 of that. So they looked at that on this side and said, okay, let's leave the $9, which is basically a capitation rate. We'll leave the $9 and go to a 50% reimbursement rate from the user. And thought it was fair that they put some of that revenue on the user of the service. And so what they're going to switch over to is leave that $9 the same. And so what would happen on the Quaker Valley side is you have a $1,000 ambulance call, your insurance pays $800. You would be responsible for 50% of that.
Of the balance.
Of the balance, or $100, and Quaker Valley would then write off $100. In the event that you don't have insurance, they have special fee drops for uninsured patients that takes it down. It depends on, I'm not going to go through their fee schedule, but it depends on the type of ambulance call. But say their fee schedule dropped down to $600, then the user would be responsible for $300, and that $9 per capita fee would cover the other $300, in the hopes that they can recover some of that revenue. They're looking to recover about $40,000 on the Quaker Valley ambulance side. So it's actually a bargain. The subscription on the other side of the river is $60 a person or a family, and they get the same result. That's $60 pays for 50%. So it is a new out-of-pocket expense, but I don't think it's unreasonable.
Any questions? Thank you, Judy. Quaker Valley Cog, Mr. Williams.
Yes, thank you. Last meeting, I was going to make this presentation, and I backed out at that time. But it was just as well because this is a much more extensive report on our adaptive dinner. This is the first time we have ever tried a virtual dinner, and it has gone, the organization and the activities have gone very, very well. To date, we have something in the range of 15 sponsors, and which will certainly make up for the lost revenue we had from our dinner that we ran each year. So the Adapt Dinner, it's free online and it's free to the public. You need to have a passport by registering, and you register on the qv.org website in the area that has adapted to Adapt Dinner. We will have a virtual lobby open that evening. There will be prizes for people who have registered and are in the meeting. We have the restaurant page if we want. This is what really kicked it off, but people want to register and make some arrangements to visit the restaurant via their menu on the site. Then we're generating some revenue for the restaurants. Again, the restaurants' registration is free, everything else is free. There's no cost to the restaurants, that's free. And I can't give you a report on the number of registrants yet, but we're doing well. We're also we've always done a 50-50 raffle for a charity, and this year the support for that work is going to support North Borough's Sewickley Meals on Wheels. So any donations that you give to GoFundMe QV-50 for Meals on Wheels will end up in good hands. Following that, we have a keynote speaker, John Delano. He is very well known in this neck of the woods, and he's worked for KDKA for quite some time. And I think that Gwen has had a prior knowledge of him or met him. I have not. But in any case, John is going to speak, and he's going to be having a political discussion with not involving the politics. That will be interesting. And as I said, we have a nice list of sponsors. Our gold sponsors are Alpha San and Gateway Engineers. Silver sponsors are building inspection underwriters, civil and environmental consultants. And bronze is 11 bronze sponsors. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm really going to use this as a chance for my getting on my soapbox and request that all of us on the township payroll and also the commissioners register for this meeting. It's very simple to do that, and you'll do it from your home, of course, so it's very convenient, no cost whatsoever. But Gwen and the staff down there have really done, in my opinion, a superlative job specifically for this being the first time up to bat. And I think that we've learned a lot, and more importantly, I think it's going to be helpful to us as a revenue generating tool in the future for the QB co-op. Are there any questions or on?
Yeah, Art, what's the date?
October 21st,
So Wednesday night, what time?
This coming Wednesday.
7 o'clock.
Thank you.
And you have to register. The latest time to register is the afternoon before, or the day before.
Thank you very much, Art.
Okay? So, let's support Sue and people down at QB Cog, and we'll see how this comes off. I'm really interested in seeing how all this plays out together, because Sue particularly has been laying one brick at a time as fast as she could. So take care and support us, please.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Williams? Mr. Solicitor?
No report, but I'll answer any questions you might have.
New business. Oh, unfinished business.
Can I ask a question on something we already covered that just came to my mind about the ambulance with the change? Is there any communication we need that will take place for residents? Or is there something we need from the website, or is there a plan?
My assumption, although I did not speak directly to it, my assumption is that that will go out with notification from Quaker Valley Ambulance. He usually communicates pretty well,
Yeah.
and he just sent out a fundraiser. Most of you probably got it. And so he has, all the mailing address, the mailing
Right.
capabilities, et cetera. But I will check with JR
Okay,
and make
that-
sure that there'll be some kind of communication.
That'd be great.
But that's a good point.
And I made a note, I would like a letter or some kind of something from him summarizing it so that we can link it on our website, because we do have a description of what the current program is on our website, so I want to make sure that we update that. So whatever if he has a letter or a chart or something like that, it would be great. That way we can have it on our site.
Okay.
Any additional unfinished business? New business.
I just have one announcement. I heard from Aleppo Township that the Quaker Valley High School plans are just about ready to be, they are being submitted to the Aleppo Township Planning Commission. And to look at their Aleppo Township's website, if you are interested in that, if you're interested in the meeting, any details on that, just trying to get the word out that the school district plans are going before the Aleppo's Planning Commission coming up.
I saw several come out that they emailed to parents, and it's pretty impressive. So it would be fun to look at.
Any other new business? Citizen participation, which would only include the commissioners that are residents. No? Executive session if necessary. No? We're adjourned.